Wow. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv, the Lancescurv podcast. Whatever happened to music like that? That made you mellow, that made you chill, that made you think, that made you feel good, that made you feel good about life. Diane, welcome on in. Peace and much love to you from myself and Ms. Gur. Thank you so much. We're on a roll today. I just finished a show a little while ago. This one may not go on as long, but it was a thought that I had, and I want to do them like this, impromptu. We will have the ones that are scheduled, but that's how it's going to be. I think we put it down on the last one. Yes, Diana had to show your face, beautiful sister. And as you can see, the title is "Are the Walking Dead Haunted by a Life That's Already Gone?" Now, let me kind of share a disclaimer. I'm not speaking about normal reminiscing. I'm not speaking about thinking of the past in a way to get answers for our future. I mean, you can't go to the doctor and the doctor not ask you what's wrong. You don't walk into the doctor's office and he tells you what's wrong by looking at you. There's a place that you have to start. And he will ask you what seems to be going on. And you say whatever it is, even though you may not know exactly the origin or the cause of it. The bottom line, with his experience, he can pretty much tell. And if he can, he'll run some tests anyway, even if he's sure that it's something else. The same thing with the old school mechanics. You drive up. I had a mechanic that if I drove up, and this is way back in the day, this is a couple decades ago. Wow, I've been driving for a long time. As soon as I drove up, it's that transmission. Now you have to hook your vehicle to a machine, to a computer. And I guess mechanics are going to soon be extinct, because you hook up to a computer, it can tell you everything wrong with that vehicle, especially if it's one of the vehicles made in the recent times. You know, times are changing, things evolve. We have to accept that. It's nice to have our memories, because trust me, this big old head of mine, I have a lot of memories in this head. And I love to think about the past, but in a way to inspire my future, not to wallow in it, not to even say that the past was better. You know, we all have our times. You know, the younger, I won't even say children, but the younger adults today, it's different for them. And it doesn't have to be compared to what we've done, depending on your age group. So I know that there are going to be many people listening to this that come from different age groups and have different perspectives, different geographical, what's wrong with me? Different geographical outlooks. But it all comes down to respecting everybody's perspectives, right? I jotted some notes down. I wrote some paragraphs down. I want to read them off, and I want to talk about them in between each one, because this is something that a lot of us really need to listen to, because I would say around the COVID time or the C-19, let's say it that way, there's still butthurt that, that worked out the way it did, the World Health Organization. I didn't say anything bad. Let's see if they keep this video up. But we were forced to stay inside. We were forced to, sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. It all depends on the individual. You know, I love staying home, right? Some people hate staying home because being at home is turbulent, dysfunctional. You know, and some people get into the routine. They like their job. They like the human contact, which is very important. Like we said on the show that we did on loneliness, it's very important around people. But after COVID, we have to admit that something changed. We became unhinged. We were different. Once things, has it gone back to normal? We say, things go back to normal. Has it really gone back to normal? And what is normal? What's not normal is not living in the present, not producing in the present And all you can do is talk about something 30, 40, 50 years ago, if you're that old, or proportionately in that time, which I don't think a lot of the younger folks are doing, and some are. But what is that doing for you today? I'm a today person. I reminisce all day long. Every time I shower, I play some good old music from the past. And I'm laughing at old jokes, thinking about things. But once that shower is over, my thing is, what is it that I am supposed to do today? What is it for to accomplish today? What is my plan for today? Because 40 and 50 years ago, I wasn't thinking about 2025. I knew it was coming. I didn't want to do anything bad, didn't want to get locked up, didn't want to get a record, didn't want to treat myself physically bad with bad food and take myself on out of here. I want to be here for as long as I can because I love life. But it seems like there's a disconnect at a certain point where there are people out here who refuse. They refuse. They will not go anywhere because they can't dominate the conversation with strangers or acquaintances about their past because they're the walking dead. Seriously. They only want to be around the people they know that they can get away with that stuff. And after a while, you're like, okay, listen, I'll call you back. I'm a little busy right now. I got something to do. How can you wallow in that? And some people say, well, it's clinical depression. Is it really? I wonder. Because the medical industry, they're so hell-bent on giving you a pill or giving you medication. The lack of the medication didn't make you like that. So how is it that giving you medication is going to take you out of it? You got to circulate. You got to engage yourself in life. I know we go through trauma and we get stuck, but we cannot change it, and it's not coming back. It's gone. It's in your head. So to sit here and over and over and over and over, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And then you die giving up so much of your life. You're the walking dead. That's all it is. Let me talk about these notes here. This little article I wrote that will be up on Lancescurv X immediately after the show is over. And you can sign up to get alerts and be a part of the other things that I'll be doing. As I'm determined to expand the content that YouTube will never see. Maybe I'll drop a link here or there, but that's what it's going to be. And look at the illustration. Now, there are sorry situations where there are men or women who lost their loved ones, lost a lot of their friends, and they're just by themselves. And my heart goes out to them. This is not about them. I'm not speaking about people who are in an unfortunate situation where the social circle has diminished. You see the old pictures on the wall and stuff. What I'm talking about are people who live in a situation like this, but refuse to deal with the things their children or grandchildren are doing, or taking a trip, but just to bring every conversation back around to some old girlfriend from 40 years ago that you broke up with, to bring the conversation around to something that something that you almost won, some tournament, something you trained for. It didn't happen. It's okay. What's happening today for you? That's what I want to know. What's happening for you today? So let's talk about it. And remember, we have at 7:30 Eastern time, the Muslim Street, Brother Malik Aziz and Dr. Issa White, they're going to be there talking about the BRICS, the 2025, what's wrong with my mouth? 2025 BRICS Summit. It's going to be very educational. I'm going to be there. I have to be there. I'm running the show, but they're the ones who are going to put down the information. Here we go. Aging isn't weakness. It's your strongest form yet. See, even before I get into the notes, I'm telling you, I know I'm not 20 years old anymore. I know I'm not 22 years old. I thought I was Superman at that time. And I wasn't arrogant. I really didn't think I was Superman. I know that we're all mortal, but I did think that I had the upper hand physically. I was sharp mentally. But you know what? I'm still strong. I'm still quick, not as quick as I used to be. I'm not as strong as I used to be. The testosterone is not flowing as much as it used to in my veins. It's still there. But I'm not going to lie to myself and try to compete with the 20-year-old version of Lancescurv on a physical level. It can't happen. I'm not delusional. But I do have the memories, but the memories are not now. What is it that I can do now? So I'm not going to lie to myself. Enjoy it while you have it. And if you're much younger, enjoy it while you have it. But there are different gears in life that we enjoy. It doesn't have to be that one thing. And a lot of them can't let that go. They want to get into a pissing contest with other men. They want to see at 60 and 65 and almost 70 how many young girls they can attract. And, no, you look like a fool. There's other phases of life to enjoy. Let's make something clear right now. Aging is not a punishment. It's not a disease. And it's sure as hell not the end of the road. It's a new level, a higher calling, a deeper chapter that demands wisdom, not whining. But here's the problem. Too many of us hit a certain age and start thinking life is winding down instead of leveling up. We hold on to memories, regrets, old stuff, and even people who don't respect us, all while losing ourselves in the process. Ain't that sad? What I'm sharing isn't for those who want to sit still and disappear quietly. It's for those of us, especially in the Black community, who have lived through storms and come out the other side stronger, but still have more to give, more to learn, and more to love. It's time to stop mourning the past, chasing approval, or tolerating disrespect. It's time to live sharper, not smaller. You don't have to move fast, but you have to move forward. You don't have to speak loud, but your silence better be powerful. Aging isn't about giving up. It's about choosing where your energy goes, what you accept, and what you no longer will tolerate. It's about mastering restraint, releasing regret, embracing change, and demanding respect. This is your time now. And this is how you walk in it, with strength, clarity, and purpose. There ain't no devil in Hades gonna tell me, well, and you get people who want you to think like them, be like them, and be in a rut like them. See, I'm not against anybody who is a little sentimental, or they miss their wife who may be deceased, or the way things were, or the old job. You feel that tinge. I'm human. But my aggressive attitude toward this particular topic is for those who want to drag you into their funk because they don't want to see you do better or go higher, because they're either content or they gave up. So you have to give up too. No, I'm not. And there are ways that they do this to you. You may have known them a long time or for a short period of time. Here's one of the ways. Oh, Lance, you would have been great if you got into doing this 30 and 40 years ago. You really would have done really good. Well, why not now? Maybe I don't want to do that. But because they have regrets from not doing anything concrete in their life or unique, other than going to a job, punching the clock, going to a job repetitiously, and now they're sitting there, retired or older or bitter, still working 2 jobs, whatever it may be. And they want to throw off a little bit of regret on you and don't know how to do it. So they start bringing up things that you may have tried and didn't want to do anymore, or what others would say have failed, but you moved on. You don't look at it as a failure. And they want to throw off, oh yeah, but see, back in the day, if you knew them back then, they weren't encouraging you back then. But they want to throw this depressed feeling on you by masking a compliment too late. So you can pick up on it and say, maybe I should have done that years ago, but that's a long time and I don't think I can do. No, you answer them back positively. Well, I may not have done that back then, but there are other things that I want to do today and for the next few months, and I want to learn for the next 2 years to make me better. And they're going to want to tell you so bad, well, Lance, you're 62, you can't really do that. Now, I'm not saying I want to go out and make a deadlift record or squat and powerlift and I'll break my back. I'd be foolish. I didn't do that when I was in my prime. Yes, D-Love, welcome back, welcome back. I see you. And many people don't see you because you're on Facebook, but I'll put you up on the screen. How have you been? And yes, we're broadcasting from West Africa in Ghana. It's been a long time, so we got a lot to catch up on. Yes, indeed. Everything is well and everybody's doing good. I'm glad to see you here. I'll shoot you a message after the show. For real. George Harris, welcome on in. He says, real talk, glad for the show. Yes, indeed, brother. I got the message and I'm glad we're reconnected. Yes, indeed. I don't really have a set schedule because there's so many things I'm doing, but I'm going to try to get several shows in every day, and long before you should get the notification if YouTube allows it, because you know how funny they can be. But like I said, that's my issue. When people have given up and they want you to give up and they're intimidated by your enthusiasm for life. Look, if I'm 99 years old, I am going to have enthusiasm for life. Even if I'm not walking the same way or moving the same way, if all I could do is take the broom and all day long sweep the side of the house, and that's all I did, I swept the side of the house. I woke up and said, I'm going to sweep the side of the house, and tomorrow I'm going to do the next side. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It may not be the amount of stuff that I can handle now. I don't care about that. But you got to reach for something. Reach. You look back, you go back. Like, I mean, nobody engages in a boxing match that's 12 rounds long, and after 2 rounds, they say, okay, let's go to the scorecards. The boxing match is not over yet. It's not over yet. You got more to go. If you want to punk out on life, again, I'm not speaking about those who their loved ones have passed away, they're in a situation this way, and they wish they could, and they're trying. People can find themselves in that situation, but you got all your faculties. You have your finances. You even have an inner circle that you want to drag them into your funk, but you don't want to go where they go. Hey, come on, man, we're going to go to the beach today. I don't want, my back is hurting. I got to go to the chiropractor. That might be true. But then you keep making excuses to not engage in life, but you want to call up somebody. Oh, remember back, man, that still hurts. I wish it was like that. So what are you saying? The day that the creator gave you, no matter what you call the creator or what your belief system is or what you know to be the truth, you cussing him out. Or her, or both of the energies, because it's male and female. The creator, probably more female than anything else if you look at nature, but that's a whole different other topic. You know, yes, we did have a nice holiday weekend, but we don't really celebrate what the holiday means because we were enslaved at that time. But for families to get together, that's how we do it. Even if they're not around us here in Ghana, we make the phone calls, we send the pictures, and every day the way the world is going, I appreciate. I try to tell everybody that I love them, and show it and be there for them, and send little messages, even if they're busy. Just let them know. Because come a day, honestly, when you throw a text message or do a live stream or have a FaceTime call, a video call, and that will be the last one on this level. With the amount of people, and this is off topic, but maybe it isn't off topic, but the amount of people that I've connected with over the last 2 decades plus being online in various forms and platforms, I've experienced this about 24 times, maybe about 30 times. I'm talking with somebody, either on the phone or a text message or something on Facebook or the older platforms back in the day. And then all of a sudden I get a call or another text 2 or 3 hours later that they're gone. There was a gentleman who was going to arrange for me to come to New York to speak at this function. And I didn't believe it. Not that I was doubting him, but I was like, wow, this thing is pretty good. I went into it. And he was this close to getting me in as a speaker, which he wanted me to speak on certain topics as a social media guy. Not as many people were doing social media back 20 years ago. And so I got another message from somebody else that I didn't know knew him. And he said, yeah, because this guy that was going to hook me up with the speaking engagement, he was younger than me and kind of a hothead. And it was a road rage incident where this gentleman that I know got out of his vehicle after talking to me. Somebody cut him off and they're in the turning lane. He jumped out and the person jumped out too and put several bullets in his chest. And he was dead before he hit the ground, unfortunately. You see how life is? I was speaking to someone else who I knew from the 80s, and I haven't seen them since the early 90s. We used to hang out. The young lady. And it was kind of like that. But it was more mature now. She saw the stuff that I was doing online, and she's like, wow, you've evolved. You're not as wild as you used to be. Not wild, reckless. I never did drugs and stuff like that. Y'all know that. But she was like, I'm really feeling good about what you're doing. I'm coming down to Florida. I lived in Florida at the time. And it wasn't a hookup. It was a legitimate thing. So she had something, what was it that was wrong? It was minor. It wasn't a major thing, but she had to take medication for it. And she misread, I believe, what was on the label, because the amount of the medication that was in her system was so much more than what it was supposed to be. And they saw that and they said, okay. So we did the Facebook back and forth text messenger, and she sat down on the chair and fell asleep. Never woke up. I got the message the next day from her fiancé that she was gone. So this world that we're in right now, it's so hijacked with the social media. We have more ways of communicating, but do we really communicate? Or do we take this thing for granted that we can speak to each other more in a sense, but we don't really deeply communicate in a way that it counts? And I don't understand how people who lived long before social media can still be this way where they're in a daze. It's like they refuse to live life. And sometimes the present manifestation of social media that we indulge in every day on different levels can be another form of escapism, that whatever's on the timeline, it's like we're high. We're not engaged. We're in traffic looking at this thing, and we rear end somebody and we run somebody over. That's not good. I don't wish that on anybody, but this is how far gone we are. We're so caught up in that. We usually pick the phone up off the floor when we wake up because we're staring at it so much until it falls down. And yes, it has happened to me. I'm guilty of that. But for me, I might be planning the next show or getting some ideas on something I want to write. Giant Game, back again. Love to see you. You scurvite, you. Yeah. So it's an alternative existence. But remember, as far out as we go in this particular platform of social media, are we really engaging in life? When we take the salt shaker or the pepper shaker on the table to put over our food, do we turn the whole thing over on the plate? Is it the meal with a little salt or pepper? Or is it salt and pepper with a little bit of the meal? So don't let this thing called social media remove you from the real hugs, the real eye contact. Yes, we're far apart. I'm in Africa right now, right? So this is all I have to communicate with you. But oh boy, when I come to America, I'm going to hug you so tight, you're going to feel like toothpaste squeezing out. I'm just playing, right? But let us know, like, I always say this, that I always know where my blip is on the radar screen. Because we can be physically here, and we're supposed to be mentally here, but mentally, we're gone. There's some people I know that you call them and you say something to them, or you say something to them in person. They may not have the phone in their hand, but they turn around, or they never come back. They cut off from the phone, and their eyes are open, and they're not really engaging. I am looking at everything that's around me. I'm smelling, sometimes, unfortunately, everything that's around me. I want to hear everything that's around me. I might see a flower and want to touch it. I've always been this way. This is why I have a tremendous sense of recall. Even things that I don't have to remember. I remember in report writing in the law enforcement academy in Orlando, Florida, they would tell you that always look at your watch or your timepiece, which might be your phone. When something happens, remember the time. The insignificant things. If you see a hit and run, say it out loud so you remember the license plate. Say and talk to yourself what it is in that moment that can get lost with your imagination. I'm saying this for a reason. I'm going to come back on topic. And at one point, Sergeant Rowe, for those who may know him in Central Florida, he taught a lot of report writings, and he taught at the academy. They had a video that they showed. Maybe it was 3 minutes long. It was a robbery. It wasn't a real robbery. It was something staged because of the exercise of our memory. And so you had a shot. The shot didn't move around, but you had a view of a counter and a young lady behind the counter. And to the side, there was a door, and you saw people who came in and out, which it wasn't much. The video started with a person leaving. And it was a man who came in who asked her for something, the clerk behind the counter, for something that was back there. And when she turned around, he demanded the cash. And he left. She wasn't harmed. And so we're looking at it. That happened pretty quick. So he said, listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to make a report of everything you saw. There was a clock behind the woman who was behind the counter on the wall. And I think it was 10:49 a.m., which was the time. So he said, you're going to have the time. Like when they say who, what, where, when, why, and all that stuff, you have to have this information in your report. Describe what he had on. Describe what he said. Which gun, which hand did he have the gun in? The details. What color were his shoes? So for me, and I messed up a little bit on that test because it was unexpected, but I always think that way, but I had to sharpen my skills. But I couldn't believe how off most people were. Oh yeah, he had striped pants. Well, how did the stripes run? Oh, diagonal. I never saw striped diagonal pants unless you were a clown. So that taught us that, oh wow, we see all of this stuff, but we're not really absorbing it. It doesn't mean you have to think like you're going to write a report for law enforcement every time you just take a walk down the street. But sometimes, occasionally, oh, there's a blue Corvette over there. Wow. It looks like one of the tires is a little flat. and throw it away. But because you said it to yourself, you remember it. You go back and what you told yourself. Well, I remember, whatever. When you see a hit and run or somebody speeding way really fast, well, get their license plate. Maybe they did something a couple blocks back. You see what I mean? And in your normal daily life, the things that you have to do, are you going to walk outside? I'm way off topic. You're going to walk outside and leave your stove on and forget that? We all can become absent-minded, get in the habit of doing a certain routine where you remember and you stay connected, where you know for a fact that this is how things were. But back to the topic. Many of us are so far away from the present, and we have no interest in the present, that we are the walking dead. So when you're the walking dead, do you think other people want to get around you? Yes, you have your personal thoughts, your likes and your dislikes. It doesn't mean you can't sit down for an evening, enjoy a small meal, and play music from your past, your playlist. That's cool. But when you refuse to engage in the present, there's something wrong. Yeah, trauma, mental issues. Aside from that, there's a lot of people who just want to have it their way. And that's it. No other way except their way. The only way. Let me continue on. What you don't do matters more than what you do. There comes a point when silence becomes stronger than shouting, when not showing up speaks louder than a crowd. This is the age of precision, not reaction. You don't have to chase every argument, every trend, every invitation. Maturity means realizing that not every thought needs to be said. Not every emotion needs a stage. And not every space is worthy of your presence. Youth had the fire. Now you have the flame and you control it. Stop saying back in my day. And this is something that I have always been guilty. Oh, back in the day. But I'm going to stop saying that. Smack me if you can reach over the Atlantic Ocean every time I say it. Because this is my time and this is your time. And yes, those of us who are a little older had a little more time to make more memories and have more memories, but it doesn't mean because you are older that you have to relegate yourself to a status that doesn't indulge in the present. But your wisdom will teach you that you don't always have to be at every party, every function, and make a comment on everything. Sometimes you have to be reserved. Oftentimes you have to let the younger folks learn on their own. Don't let them fall into danger if they're doing reckless, right? But like I said, stop saying back in my day. Let it go. Yes, the past had strength. There was structure, family, values, and dignity. But today has its own fight. The danger in always talking about the good old days is you start missing the good in today. I'm going to say that again. The danger in always talking about the good old days is you start missing the good in today. You start resenting this world instead of adapting to it. And guess what? That resentment isolates you. It makes you hard to be around. You become the one who's always complaining and always judging. Don't be that person. Instead, bring the best of your past, uplift present. Let your memories guide you, not bind you. See? You have a storehouse of memories and wisdom learned, but pull it out and take it out only when needed. This is a different day. I mean, I love the thought of one of my favorite years of my life, which they all have brought joy to me. When I think about 1982, all those bodybuilding competitions I went in. I mean, I went in some in 80, 81, 82, 83, 85. Didn't do anything in 84. And I remember how it felt to be on stage in front of all them people in that huge hall, down on the floor level and up in the balconies. And when they called out my name and the way they were bedazzled, the way I moved myself. Now, do I want to keep talking about that? That was a victory and a good time. You know, yeah, it was a beautiful time for me too. And I mean actually yesterday, because remember when I did the show and I said I had to leave and go downtown and come back, that's what I did. And I met some very wonderful people, had some very wonderful conversations, and ran into someone who I attended a function where they had this art gallery go on, and it was up on the old channel that was taken down. I'll try to see if I could find it. But I ran into her in the supermarket. And for some reason, the algorithms patched us back together where I saw what she's doing today. And I told her, I'm definitely going to reach out to you. You see how the universe is? Instead of me focusing on, well, you know, it ain't like New York where I grew up. Well, it ain't like whatever. Look, I love New York. I kind of like Orlando, Florida, but not like New York. And I'm enjoying myself here. And there'll be memories here that I'll enjoy and will create. And people that I have yet to meet. It doesn't mean I don't like the old people anymore. I'm cutting you all off. Oh, yes, there are definitely some people I had to cut off. We all do. It's not like you'll not cut your hair. You want to keep a certain style, but it has to grow, but you got to trim it and do what you have to do to keep it looking right. Embrace the present. But people want to come with this thing like a battering ram. Well, back in my day, things were better. And back in my day, and you know the funny thing about it? The funny thing about it is lots of times, especially when you know certain people, right? And you were there. And they're getting older, we're all getting older. And their rendition, their memory, their recall of the past is something spectacular. Way more than what it was. Even though their memories are precious to them, and I would never downplay anybody's memory. But they would have you, they may have gotten a helicopter ride when they were younger, and the way that they tell it now, it's like they flew and went to the moon. Yes, I was going past and we landed on the moon, and people amp things up. And we're often guilty of that. I like to tell it like it is. I like to keep it in perspective and still reach for more as I get older. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. I just want to share memories. And I have a lot of memories that I have yet to share, but we'll talk about those things when the different topics come, because I was engaged at the time, just like I'm engaged now. I wasn't looking at the young lady yesterday in any form of lust, but I can tell you exactly what she had on, exactly what time I ran into her, and I ran into her again. Because I'm watching. Somebody in public was with me that is an acquaintance. Lance, your eyes are always looking at things because you're used to people just being numb. You say, excuse me to them, excuse me, sir. And they're looking at, huh? But we're gone. We're gone. We're not all here. And the worst is the self-induced type. We're not engaged in the present. We gave up. We quit. We don't like it. Well, that Camaro back in the 70s that I had is way better than the one they have now. Okay, you like it better. That was your heyday. There's still some dudes running around here wearing Jerry curls. And they're going back and getting them big Cadillacs from the 70s that nobody wanted when they had the gas situation, the oil situation. And people started buying Toyotas. But they couldn't afford it back then. They always wanted to get their head jazzed up and be the man. That time is gone, so they're still reaching for that. They go to an old lot and get an old Cadillac with them big, long doors and whatever, and it's all in their mind. Yeah, man, I'm chilling. Come on, man. That's like showing up to a party today wearing some old psychedelic stuff from back in the 1970s. Stay on or dress conservative, which never goes out of style, right? We move on here. You're not too old to change. You've been through decades of life, and now you want to believe you can't change? That's a lie. Saying you're too old to grow is just an excuse. If you're still breathing, you're still becoming. Growth isn't just for the young, it's for the willing, right? We got people who are young and they clocked out of life. So this is not just an old man or an old woman thing. Comfort zones are graves for the living. If you say you're too old to change, what you're really saying is, I chose to stay stuck. I don't want to be around stuck people. Every day is a chance to evolve, so take it. They want to stay stuck. They're resisting life. Then go call and jump in it and tell somebody to bury you. I'm sorry. And again, I'm not saying this to people who are victims of circumstance where they may have moved out of state and their family passed on, and people, the social circle changes, but even still, it's your responsibility to reach out, and you have the right to choose who you are around. You don't have to be around people who are not in your corner, who secretly hate you. You choose the people that you're around. How is it that I'm meeting people every day when I'm out here? When I go into town, I don't push myself on anybody, but they can see my mentality. Even the Uber driver the other day that I did a little video short for, he sends me messages every day. We made some jokes. He has his life, I have my life, but he'll shoot me something. He'll check out the show and say, hey man, I like that point. Why don't you talk about this or this or that? In passing, it doesn't mean you always have to be up in somebody's house, but if you were to remove the planet Earth from this solar system and put it in another solar system far away, it's going to have to follow the rotation of that new solar system. It can't stop being who it is. You can't stop being who you are, but there is something valuable in you that somebody else can gain from, and vice versa. And some who are the walking dead, what you going to do? You can't change them. They're going to be stagnant, and they're going to really be dead. You know what I mean? They're going to really be dead. Don't live in regret. Regret will rob your joy, steal your peace, and chain you to moments you can't change. That thing you wish you did differently is done. Accept it. Learn from it. Move on. Regret is like rocking in a chair. It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. You're not the sum of your mistakes. You're the result of your growth. See, it all depends on how you look at it. If you still have time, and you do, then make it count. Let the past teach you, not trap you. Let the past teach you, not trap you. It's a stepping stone. It doesn't mean you're going to fall off the stone and drop and bust your head wide open. And some people, and I want you to sit there with them for the whole time. Oh, I hurt my head back in 1982. Man, it hurts so bad. You're not healed from that? You're not excited about the day when you wake up? Yeah, some days you want to stay in the bed and sleep. You look and it's a day off and it's overcast and you had a little too much to eat. You feel a little constipated, whatever it may be. You say, I'm so glad that I had the day off and I don't want to do anything. As of recent, my sleep quality, which has always been good, because I not will exhaust myself, but I push myself until the tank is empty. But I've noticed that when I wake up now, I'm still a little fatigued because I don't hit REM sleep as much or as deep as I should. And I've been thinking, like, why is this? Because my mind is wound up. I'm dreaming of things I'm going to do the next day and anticipating and planning. And I might go to sleep, don't really get the rest. And that's something I noticed in the last 3 days. It doesn't take me long. It's not like, oh, this has been something that's been going on for 6 months. So I'm going to make adjustments. I'm going to limit the things that I do for the day, even though they will still be enthusiastic. After this show, we have the show at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm running it, but Brother Malik Aziz and Vibrant Issa White, they will be talking on it. So that will be my third show for the day. But really, me alone, this one is the second one. So I'm going to keep it that way. I may have to make a run out tomorrow. It may just be 2. And I know that we have Metamorphosis, Brother Neil Frazier, on tomorrow night, which is always a joy. And I always look forward to that. But you always have to keep yourself looking forward to something. And here's my next point, which goes beyond the Walking Dead thing, but it's still connected to it. Stop chasing the approval of younger generations. You don't need to dress like them, talk like them, or beg for their approval. That desperation only makes you look weak. The youth don't admire imitation. They respect authenticity. So don't pander. Don't water down your voice. Be firm in who you are. Be the example they can look up to, not someone trying to blend in. Respect is earned when you stand tall in who you are, not when you bow down. Don't be that old man at the club, y'all. Don't be at the nightclub where you can go to a nice social club and age appropriate or whatever. And if you're a little older, whatever have you, carry yourself in a certain way. But don't find yourself in a nightclub at 60 for people that are in their 20s. I've seen too much of that. And I would never do that. And after I got my citizenship, remember, we went and the video's still there. Folks were like, go. I was like, oh, I'm kind of tired. And folks said, no, show us. I said, okay, I'll go. I stayed up all night that night. I had my phone. I clicked it on. I was walking around with the phone, showing you and everything. And there were people of all ages that were there from the ceremony for the citizenship. And there were some who walked in the club because they were going to the club. So I wasn't like the oldest guy there. Maybe I was. There were some that were up there. I didn't look like it though, but I wasn't up there trying to dance. And I mean, I could dance if I want to, but I'm not going to try to change who I am to blend in. I never want to be that old dude at the club who looks out of place. If I'm there, I'm going to sit down, enjoy myself, listen to the music, but for what? For what? You know, I mean, I found myself in nightclubs when I used to work in corrections. We used to do the little bouncing afterward. And so you go there. And lots of times you'll see the guys that were locked up that got out that know you. Thank God you were cool with them to a point. You didn't fear them. You did your job, but you gave respect. You get respect. But that was not my scene. And it was more like in those clubs were hood clubs. So they really weren't something that I was looking forward to. I was like, okay, let me get this little $100 for this couple hours. Let me get out of here. Right? But I see a lot of that. The youth respect you when you remain authentic to who you are. They know. And they don't look at you corny if you're within their proximity, right? It doesn't mean you can't modernize yourself a little bit. Doesn't mean you're an old relic. But they can when you try to change yourself, especially when you have children and they're growing up there in their teens or still in their 20s, and you go to a function. It could be a baby shower. It could be something, and you severely alter yourself and you look straight stupid. You hear it all the time. Daddy, why are you wearing that hat? It might be a hat or something that the young kids wear, and you don't do that to yourself. That's like the opposite of the Walking Dead. You know, you're trying to be alive so much, but you're pushing it. Be yourself. That's the main thing. The same thing when we use the analogy of the club. We have that woman who is chronologically older than the crowd, but she's still trying to compete symbolically with her daughter for the same man. You've seen it on Jerry Springer. You've seen it on some of these shows. You got a nice body, or maybe a little heavy or whatever have you. Save it for your man behind closed doors. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to wear something short and sexy and tight. You're trying to get it popping. Let's just talk and be real. You can do that. But don't think you can go out there and attract a young man who's going to look at you as either a cougar in heat or somebody that they can use you for your resources, right? Oh, yeah, she got a nice crib, man. I'm going to see if I can get them keys. I'm going to put it down tonight or whatever. Delusional. There's a lot of ways to be the walking dead. You know, it's not just a person who's stuck in the past, but you don't fit into certain levels in the present. It's over. But it's not over if you act your age accordingly, which doesn't mean you have to be old. Find your own crew, find your own circle. And if you enjoy being around the younger folks, then do so in a way where it's something they can appreciate and crave for you to be around. If you have a bunch of guys who want to learn boxing and you know some moves and certain things to defend yourself, they'll see value in that. If it's a young family and they don't know anything about gardening and you're older and you know, the whole neighborhood will flock around you for your wisdom. What do you have to offer that's valuable? And they won't look at you as some person who's, oh, you're trying to be young. Look, in my spirit, I will always be young. But you're not going to see me going to some club late at night, trying to creep. Hey, girl, it ain't going to happen. I'm sorry. That ain't going to happen. I feel like a fool. Here's another one. A lot of folks do this as they age. Stop hoarding things out of fear. Clutter is fear in physical form. All those boxes, clothes, broken appliances, you don't need them. You're not defined by what you own. You're defined by how you live. Letting go of things is not about losing. It's about freeing yourself from what no longer serves you. We all know that person who wants to buy a brand new cell phone every single year. Well, I just bought my new iPhone and it's the top of the line and so and so. And every time they talk to you, yes, I'm talking to you. Yes, let's have a conversation. You know, I'm on that new iPhone that I have. Oh, God, you are not your things. Your legacy isn't in old furniture. It's in the lives you touch, the stories you tell, and the love you give. This is why it didn't bother me when they hijacked the old channel that had almost 6,000 videos. You can't stop me from being me. I'll just retell the other stories, share the energy. And you can't undo the energy that I put out first. So when we have somebody in our inner circle that transitions, they may be gone, but in your heart, they're not gone because the energy they gave you lives on. So it's not about your things. And those who truly love you, it's not about your things to fight over. It's about what you gave them. What are you giving the people around you? Whether it's on a live stream, whether it's in a conversation in your living room and it's just you and one other person. You might be in public and add on to a discussion on public transportation or the supermarket checkout line. They might not even remember you, but they remember the energy that you gave them. It's amazing when I go into the more populated areas and sometimes the less populated areas and people call me, hey man, I know you. I know what it is. And it's a smile. If I was a prick to them, they'd call after me. And the surprise that they have, oh man, you the same way you on them videos. Yeah. If you stand here long enough, I'm gonna talk your ears off. The next one, don't dwell on what you've lost. Loss is real. Death, distance, decline. It comes for us all. But sitting in it, staying in sorrow, that's not living. You must process your pain, feel it, and then move on. Move forward. There are still smiles left, still mornings to rise, and still people who need your love. Don't let what's gone blind you to what's still here. Life hasn't stopped. It just shifted. and really and truly how self we are. And all we can think about is our past, our thoughts, our achievements. When people need us, there are people out here who need us and need our energy. It doesn't mean you give yourself away to everybody. But what can you do to give? Most people are take. Oh, there's a good deal. Oh, well, when you get rid of that, let me have it. Oh, I need that. Oh, well, where's the next sale? Where take. Why don't you wake up one day and say, let me see how much goodness I can give? What can I do to encourage somebody? You might see a person and you know they were crying. It might be something personal. You can't say, hey, I can tell you're crying. Let me encourage you. That's not how you approach people. But it's intuitive, but you have to be in touch with yourself. You can't be caught up in yourself. And the best way to help yourself when you're feeling down sometime is to help somebody else. Engage them. You'll feel a whole lot better. Don't allow yourself to be used or labeled as that person who, free energy. I can use them. No. But your spirit will tell you, I'm losing my charge on the phone so fast. I thought it was, wow. But who can you uplift? When you get back home, or if it's in your home on a phone call, you'll feel so much better. So much better. Here's another one. Don't go where you're not respected. If they talk down to you, ignore you, or act like you don't matter, stop going. You've earned the right to be honored. And if they don't see it, that's their failure, not yours. Don't fight to prove yourself to people who have already made up their mind. Respect isn't a request. It's a requirement. Walk away from every space that doesn't value your time, mind, and your heart. They may start out like that because they want something out of you, but once they get what they wanted, they dismiss you. Chalk it up to experience and walk away, but try not to let that happen again. So many of us want to be loved so much. We want to be included, that we give away everything for free. And that doesn't make people love you. That makes them use you and discard of you as soon as they get what they want. And that leaves you feeling empty. And lots of times as we get older, we do this thinking that, wow, I have another circle of friends to be around. And it leaves you feeling emptier. And you might find yourself like this person sitting in the room the righteous way. I'm not saying this is righteous, but you're betrayed and then you feel messed up. Not the person who's just stuck in the past and wants to just stay there. So even in your outreach, know when to pull back. Not everybody's going to appreciate you for who you are. And oftentimes, lots of times, they might even despise you. But remember, the power is still yours. Let me tell you something with all the boldness in my soul. Aging is power if you use it right. It's not a time to shrink. It's a time to sharpen, to cut out what's fake, to build what's lasting, to teach what you've lived. You've made it this far. Don't dishonor that by living in fear, regret, and silence. Speak when it matters. Walk where you're wanted. Let go of the rest. This isn't the end. It's the edge. And from that edge, you can still rise. So I don't want anybody to feel bad because they're getting older. It's all how you commandeer your energies. But living in the past and refusing to be in the present, that's basically the message that I wanted to share tonight. And this is not going to be as long. And I forgot to do it before. Like I always said that I would promise to do, that if anybody wanted to come in and have something to say really quick. And I had another screen up that I didn't see the chat room. So let me reach out to the folks who came in that I didn't see. But on the bottom there's a link if you want to come on in and have something to say. I acknowledge most people. Let me see. Let me come on down. Come on down. K-Frame Classic. Yes, I'm glad you're here. I'll be doing more lives. Even if it's through the phone and I'm in traffic, in downtown Accra. Right? Heart Chakra 777. I believe if I didn't just call your name, I already acknowledged you. And let me see what George Harris says. This little bundle here, hilarious. I'll be 40 this week, and I'm so glad I've had my fun in my early 20s when I was supposed to and got it out my system. Yes, yes. Happy birthday. Happy born day. Yes, indeed. My daughter, 8 in 10 years, when she's off to college, I plan to travel internationally and enjoy my 50s. And I'm going to hold on and live. When that time comes and you want to enjoy and you come on, I'll be here. Come on out to Ghana. Make that one of your stops. What else do you say? Sugar, I did 46 when I was 21. I referred to her as my professor. She taught me a lot. Trust and believe, I know. I'm not going to say that never happened. That was the most of what happened with me. It was never really anybody my age, but you know, it all depends on what, you know, how you find yourself, where you find yourself. Life is funny. I mean, I tell a lot of stuff that I've been through, but it was never venomous. It wasn't predatory. It is what it is, you know, and I can sit back and a lot of times I entertain myself when I think about those things, but I'm not stuck in the past. We're not stuck in the past. I'm looking forward to a great future. I'm looking forward to being my best. I'm looking forward to many creations that come out of the experience and the wisdom that I've gained. I have more wisdom to get. Whatever I have, I need more. It's not like, well, I just have enough wisdom or whatever. No, I'm a dummy compared to who I'll be 10 years from now. And I don't really mean I'm a dummy, but always know that there's always more. You know, when we transition, die, but when we transition, we should transition reaching. We should be reaching. It shouldn't be where we're sitting down. Now, you might not be able to get up. Your knees might be bad, but you should be reaching for something. It's just like the gentleman in this example. He was an artist. I read about him. He was 86 years old. He was in good health, but something happened severely to his health. It brought him down, but he's an artist. He wasn't like me with the pen and the pencil and all that stuff, but he painted. So they found him on the floor. He had some kind of seizure, some kind of heart attack, something happened to him, but he was starting a new picture. And he had the top part of it done, but you can see that this thing happened when he was painting. And even when he was painting, you can see that he was still trying because the lines were smooth first. Eventually he just fell. And as he fell, he kept that brush on the canvas and the brush was on the ground. The paint was knocked over. He was gone, but he died reaching. Wow. Talk about life force. That you're feeling this thing and you know something's happening. Maybe it happened so sudden. Maybe that was by chance it hit that way, but he was doing something. He gets brownie points for that. And we got people half of that age of 86 and 1/3 of it sitting down. I don't know what to do. I'm a victim. If I do this, it ain't gonna work out. And I remember back in 1982 and whatever. No. I'm gonna always do something. I'm gonna always learn something. I got some gadgetry here, some things here that I purchased not too long ago. I haven't studied up on it yet. I want to do it right. Before I do this show tonight, it's 7:30 Eastern time. And I'm gonna get off soon because I have some stuff to cook up. I'm gonna learn this equipment and hook it up for specific reasons. That's what I purchased it for. I'm excited about that. Tomorrow night we have Neil Frazier's show. I might go downtown before, but I think I'm going to stay home. I got some things to do, but I know I have something to do early Tuesday. So I'm going to try to stay home tomorrow. And I have a bike up there that's dusty. I want to get on my bike and ride. I want to get on my cycle and ride. I want to reach. I got no time to sit around. Well, you know, Lance, you ain't young no more. I understand the chronological time I've been here, but does that stop me from wanting to run or throw a ball or read a book or have a good conversation to make somebody laugh? I'm supposed to go sit down in the corner. Oh, well, your time is up. Well, if you think so, it's that way for you. It ain't that way for me. And even if I had an ailment, I'm going to still talk and still extract as much as I can. We don't know how we're going to exit out of here. We don't know the time. As I say, we all have different runways. The runway of our life, your runway might be 100 years that you're going to be on this earth. For some people, it's 22. For some people, it's 44. The thing is, you don't know how long your runway is. Take flight wisdom that you can gain. So if the runway runs out early, you're already flying. But you don't want to taxi down the runway all your life thinking, well, I'll take flight soon. I'll take flight soon. I'll stop this drinking. I'll stop this. I'll stop this fornicating. I'll stop this cussing. I'll try to see things a little better instead of this little small circle I'm in. And then your runway ends and you fall out in that little lake that's always by the runway. And you wonder, oh, this happened so sudden. No, you were involved with things that didn't do anything to help you take flight. And while you take flight, you're still enjoying life. It wasn't something forced that you fell into the lake next to the runway, and now you can't fly. I want to take flight as early as I can. I want as much wisdom. I don't care about the ego. I don't care, I have the best wardrobe. I don't even have a car right now. I don't want one until this house is finished. I don't care about that. It's convenient. You got Uber, you got the vans. You know how many cars and trucks and vans and pickup trucks and some luxury cars and things? I forgot how much I've had before. I can force it and remember and think and whatever, but foreign cars, domestic, nice. My ego's not tied to that. My ego would more be tied to the artwork that I do and the things that I draw. More so than stepping out. Because you're going to leave that stuff. I'm going to get another vehicle soon. It's going to be nice. It's not going to be so flamboyant where, oh man, I got to pay for this thing and it's taking up my retirement checks. And no, I want to be free. I want to be free and light and make this time of my life the best time of my entire life, because now I'm equipped with wisdom. I'm equipped with good people around me, and to survive and mishaps have happened, close calls have happened. I won't say mistakes, but misjudgments. I've learned from those things. And so now I'm more equipped than ever to live a wonderful life. And that's what I'm looking forward to. However long my runway is. I might live to 120, I might live to 70, I don't know. And that's not my concern. If it was supposed to be our concern, our creator would have told us, you have an expiration date like right across your wrist. You have 27 more days. I don't want that. But this day I have. And I'm going to enjoy it. Sister Hope, the only rice I F's with. Let me put you up on the whatchamacallit here. Let me see. And I was about to go. I hate that. I'm glad you're here, Sister Hope. And everybody else who's attended. It's been over an hour we've been talking. We did something almost 2 hours early, I think, and hour and a half or whatever. It's been enjoyable. Keep your eyes open. Be aware of where you're the radar screen. Don't let nobody psych you out of your destiny and pull you away from where you have to go, because there's a lot of that out here. Anyway, much love. I'm going to talk to you all later. I'll see you in a little while. I won't be on the screen when Malik does his show, but I'll be there running things behind the scene. So anyway, let me hit this up. I'll talk to you later. Much love. Peace.